So Lady Valanth has brought them to a nice inn. It's not the most fabulous inn, but compared to most of the buildings in this city, it's more of, again, it's a very large town. There's hardly any large. There's nothing so far. Neither of you see anything more than 2 stories, really. It's very farmish. It's built out of wood and basic structures. Nothing crazy. There's not a lot of stonework. Most of the roads are dirt. But there's a lot of them. There's a lot through. The one thing you do notice, though, is there's a lot of water here and there. There's little streams and things like that that sort of go to each building. It's like there's water. So it's night, and you see this well-lit building, and it is the inn. It's called Grass-Fed.
Huh.
Nice.
So you go into Grass-Fed, and it's relatively lively. It's well lit. Several fireplaces. There's a nice bar. There's a couple people at the bar. There is a very large, loud woman that's serving and laughing and greeting everyone. When you all come in, she waves at Valanth. That you both notice she waves at Valanth, but they don't act like it's any big deal that they're a stranger. They're just like wave, and there's an large empty table, enough for the 3 of you all, and you venture through. I'd say Broken Sword probably notices that none of these people are even giving him a second look. He's a very large Goliath, and we know there's not really Goliaths around, but like no one cares. Everyone's just sitting down after a long, hard day's work and just chatting and laughing. It's very pleasant. Probably makes you question: is it really as bad as they say, or that Valanth is let on? Because no one seems in despair, no one seems upset. But you're welcome to roll an insight on either character.
Your people are very kind here and accepting.
Yes, we are a land that welcomes all individuals as long as they do not attempt to do us harm.
So Broken Sword got a 14 insight.
Okay.
And
So I'm not lying.
No.
then Eldred will take stock of the room and get a 24 insight.
Thanks to your natural cleric skills, conditions of people. These people are exhausted. Like they're tired. They're not hurt.
No.
They're just weary and
hardworking stock. Good folk. Salt of the land.
But right now, you would probably think that they're maybe a little overworked for some reason. So that's definitely Eldred thinking about.
Okay.
Now, again, the Broken Sword looks. What he's looking at, though, he's probably mostly looking at their hands. Him being like warrior and all the things he's went through. Their skin and hands are very well worn. These people are always outside. They are definitely workers. He doesn't notice one person that probably works inside hardly. Even the barkeep that's over there, she's a very strong woman. She must carry and work and do stuff. Maybe not in the sun as much as these people, but she works. They're all strong. I would say, we'll put it in D&D terms. Most commoners have a strength of 10 many times. These people have at least probably 12 or so, because they work.
Yeah.
And they it's just from morning to dusk.
Mm-hmm. Hardy people. Fine stock.
But they're not just all. There's not just humans here. There's a few other races and stuff, or some halves. You do recall that, on your way here that Balance said that, they're always willing to take the best workers here.
What time of year is it? Like, as far as the farming cycle would be, planting or harvest?
Like,
certainly not winter, given all this.
No, like there's never downtime here. Like it's like where it is with the current.
Oh, it's kind of like a tropic zone.
It's a very temperate tropic.
Gotcha.
So like they rotate after years and stuff like that. So to provide food year round, like this is definitely what they found, because there's not really an off season.
Okay.
Probably Eldred would maybe know that a little bit more, since he's from the east. Now, of course, Broken Sword, probably doesn't really know.
No, just followed the abbot.
Yeah, so he's still learning about the islands, because they're all very, very different.
This is a wonderful place, certainly worth protecting. On the menu, I imagine there's fairly common, like, spiced potatoes. And
it's like very vegetable heavy.
Yeah.
There's seafood. There are potatoes. But really, it's like a lot of not a ton of necessarily fruit. But because fruit doesn't travel as far. But when it comes to meat, it's mostly seafood.
Sure.
I have maybe some salted pork that can last a little bit.
Right.
But luckily, your host said that she would get your meal.
Oh yes, order whatever you would like. I will cover your milk in your room for tonight.
Most gracious. Imagine there's some sort of wheat ale or something.
When it comes to ale, luckily the bartender owner, the hefty lady, who's let's say that she's unusually tall. We'll say she's probably over 6 foot. So she's quite broad shoulders. Comes over and she heard. She said, we have some of the best ale, considering we grow our own wheats and barleys, and we make sure that they're fresh. You got to make sure you can't work if you're not well provided for yourself. I wouldn't drink too much of it, or you might end up like me. And she sort of jiggles her stomach a little bit. She said, "Ain't no baby in here." So I might be having my own field of wheat, if you know what I mean.
I would have never thought to ask, but I would, of course, like to sample the wares.
So she's like, "Would you now?" And she was down
there.
She's checking out, because there's no one here over 6 feet tall in the room.
Yeah.
Other than her, so she's quite interested in seeing someone that's over 6 feet tall. So she puts down the next one. She said, "Here you go, big fella." It's like,
never seen Stone blush before.
it's like. So you look a little. I don't know what is a stone that colors red. Okay, so maybe you find more clay.
Yeah, something.
So she hands everyone a drink, and of course she gives Broken Sword 2. So she knows that it'll take a little bit. So she said the menu's good. She said, "I hope you all like fish. I got plenty of pork." So our soup is really good. It's like everyone else says that we have some of the best water, so we're able to do things. It's very mineral enriched water. It helps these plants and grow. So she of course she's giving you all the sort of the pitch of the island, because she knows she's never seen you all, so she assumes.
Yeah, we're visitors.
Yeah, so she looks down at the magistrate and she says, "Well, I see you went through with it, magistrate. So you actually brought people. You know.
Yes, I did.
The Council of Farmers will not be happy that you decided to bring in outside help. You know that.
I'm aware of that, but it is my job to protect as best I can, and we need the help.
So she's like, well, I appreciate you bringing new customers and nothing else. and maybe friends, as she gives a sly smile over to Broken Sword, and she gives a third.
Oh, jeez, whoa.
So, and she walks off and gets behind the bar and starts talking to others. So,
the proprietor is very kind.
Yes, that is definitely one way to describe her. We are blessed to have her.
Using your passive intelligence history, she has a little bit of a reputation of being extremely friendly, and people like to stay here all the time, whether they need to or not. So,
I'll just let you know to keep an eye on her. Then.
So as you say that, you glance over and you notice that she's keeping an eye on him as she sort of, as she has her own ale as she drinks and wiggles her fingers towards Broken Sword.
I fear we must keep our minds on the task at hand, and I certainly hope we don't cause any offense with these farmers. We want to do our best to help.
They will not be angry with you, just me. So I will handle this when the need arises.
Well, apologies for the trouble nonetheless, my lady.
Thank you. So
So while this happens, you hear the large front door open up, and in comes through near the fireplace a very old man. It's not it's just I only have so many fingers.
Different old man.
Yeah, it's just there comes a point that they don't feel like shaving or doing stuff. Yeah. So this old, and when everyone realizes that this particular old man's there, everyone sort of gets a little bit quieter, including the proprietor decides to leave and go back.
Tend to the kitchen.
So there is a slight bard that has been playing some music. He continues to play, but it's a little bit quieter. It's hard.
Do I turn to see why?
So before you turn, you probably already know why. It's like it is the watch leader. Like there's really not an armed forces here. They are more, they have people that scatter invasive animals or stuff. They shoot things that aren't supposed to be around. But this old gentleman is one of the elders of it, and
so I will say before turning that I am sure that he has just entered.
His name is Eber.
Ever. Spell. E-B-B-R. No E in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. I messaged you. So I will turn and motion for him to come and join us.
So,
and I will scoot to the other side of the table.
So he comes and joins you and sits down, and he looks at the two people that Valeth brought.
I will introduce them to each other and let him know that I have ask them to come and assist us. And Eber, what is an update on the fields and this night since I left? How many more fields?
Well, Eber looks and he says, "Oh, if you were here, you would know the status of our fields. It's like you know that everyone voted that we were just going to try to handle it ourselves and confront this knight ourselves and just tell him to shoo and go off like we do with every other thing that comes in here. It's like if there's enough of us that confront him, he would just go on his own."
If I thought that, I would not have gone to get help. I do not need snarkiness. I need an update.
So the update is he's now burnt fields randomly around, the ring of growth, where things grow up. It's like we can't figure out a rhyme or reason on it, but he destroys big blocks, and goes.
Is this knight mounted or only on foot?
He's just on foot. Many times we don't even know that stuff's destroyed until it gets there and it's gone. But it just doesn't make much sense. But he'll destroy large sections and then disappear.
Has the town crossed anyone or any kind of faction that would cause such enmity?
Oh no, we've never. It's like other than a few fist fights of drinking too much, we haven't had a murder on this island in almost 200 years. This used to be a large military garrison hundreds of years ago, and that's how they found but it's just we feed everyone, we welcome everybody. We have many people that come from all over the islands and they settle here and they work here. If you don't work, there's not much place for you here. Everyone has a purpose. They know it's here. We all come together as a community, build houses and build places. A few people have specialized skills like last back there that runs this place, but we all grow and we all ship out. We even have a couple of those crazy people that like to sail, but even though they know how to tend the land if it needs to. It just doesn't make any sense why anyone want to do this. We're not at war with anybody.
The magistrate told us of the general geography of the land, and there are only two main ports onto the island. Surely a man of this stature would have turned heads arriving.
That's what we thought. Like, at first we thought some of the youth were just making up a story of maybe getting drunk and burning and destroying some land, and first it was sort of a ha-ha, and then it happened again, and then we started hearing rumors of people seeing this large being, and again we thought it was a prank possibly, because some of our youth, some of the youth that are here just think that they know better and that they don't quite understand how things work here, and they're free to leave. They get old enough and they go, and many times they come and return. I myself left for 20 years because I thought that I was better than this life, and I realized the rest of the world sort of sucks. and that you don't get rewarded working the land, or you don't get rewarded the same. It's like here, you get what you put into. We provide for others. Others provide back to us. We understand that we're part of a big cog, and we like that. But the youth doesn't. Sometimes they think that they're bigger than they are, and we wouldn't let this go as long if we thought it was an outsider. But once we actually had eyes on this particular night, we realized that it ain't no one here, because no one has type of armor that this would be.
At that, Eldred pipes up and says, Magistrate, you're well versed in the history of this island. What do you know of the military history before this agrarian lifestyle?
I'll just roll for that.
No, that's good.
Ooh, 13.
Okay, so you were also a transplant here. You came here when you were young, but that when I say young, like 50, 60.
Sure.
For
an elf, that's
for an
teenagers.
elf. So you came here to study. It's like, we'll say your parents were also very interested in magic and stuff like that.
Looking for a quiet life.
It's like, this is a perfect place to study. You contributed when you did, but thanks to your magic powers, you were able to help with stuff. Most of your things were not to destroy, but you were able to do various things to help farm life. That's how you were elected magistrate. So, but the history that you do know is during the warring island period. It was just this great lake island, and you're on. Actually, this town was built on top of the large underground lake. So you again inform them about how this lake, you're able to create irrigation, do stuff. But people, when they wore, the island wasn't as important as the fresh water. They could go and collect water and stuff, because and that the last great king of the East, that when there was actually a king that broke up and broke everybody up, it's like it was the one that built the gates in, because before you sort of had to scale these rivers that went to the fresh water, and they sort of cut the water to where it wouldn't leave the island when they cut these in, and then made it easier to get in and out once the warring period was over.
Well, surely one mailed figure without any kind of mount or width, as far as that goes. But since he's on foot and heavily armored, we should be able to track him.
The old man pipes up and says, "That's what we thought, but he's gone. He's gone quicker than we can find him. We see him and we go, and what's left behind is what he took away." So it's like, we've tried to figure out why he's doing it, but it doesn't make any rhyme or reason. Like what he's doing.
Have any of the witnesses observed any magic use from this night?
Like, we're fairly simple when it comes to magic, other than our magistrate here.
Surely,
like
but
we're not even sure how the fields are emptied. They're just, it's just gone. Like, all our hard work is just gone.
So it's not set fire?
So there's no smoke. It's just,
the crops are just missing.
It's just gone. It's like, it's just not, there's no plant life there at all.
Oh. Well, we'll need to observe that in the morning and see what we can find out.
It's like, I can take you to the last place this happened. Like, at least happened yesterday. But this night just appears random times throughout the day, and it only happens during the day.
If you can take us first thing in the morning to this last location, that would be beneficial.
Yeah, that would be best. We'll have to investigate there first.
I said, I will take you first light. So make sure not to oversleep. So,
We will meet you here at daybreak so that you can show us the most recent field.
it's like I sure will. So make sure to have your boots ready and strapped up. So by the time that we depart, everyone else will be out working. So, and with that, he decides to he leaves. Do you all want to say anything after he leaves, or you all want to finish your meal and depart for the night to your respective sleepy places?
I figure we'll eat and go to our respective rooms because we are meeting early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you all go. So we're going to. I'm still recording. There's a reason. Rooms. He's really big, so he needs his own room.
Yeah.
So it's close to morning. It's not there yet. So when Broken Sword is fast asleep, and there comes a knock on his door.
All right. Wake up at that and maybe listen at the door first.
So you listen, and there's another knock on the door. It's
Is-
very light. It's not like it's awful.
Okay. Are there any slats in the door where I could peek through and see who's out there?
There's probably an eye slit.
Okay.
You can slide sideways. You
Yeah.
have to bend probably
Right.
far down.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So you open the slit, and there you look through the slit, and the first thing you see a plate of great food with fish and meats on it and a potato.
Okay. So I'll open the door there.
So you see your favorite 6 foot tall ish. Oh, she probably taller. And she's like, it's breakfast time, and I happen to overcook. So before the food rush gets here, I thought maybe you'd like to have something to eat, and we could talk about why you all are here.
Yes, it is a bit early.
And
but...
she says, and she just sort of comes past you.
Yeah.
and comes sits on the bed across from where you were sitting.
Right.
So do you join her? She's like, here, sit down.
Sure. Yeah.
So
not to be rude.
So and she puts the plate of food on your lap. No problem, sir. And she says, go ahead, enjoy. So I can tell that you're a man of few words and more of action. She looks around. She says, I hope that this room accommodated your great size.
Of course, more than ample.
Because poor, because you remember going in, and poor
Eldred.
Eldred is in. It's like
broom
a
closet.
It's like a closet. It's just there's a bed. It's like that's about
Yeah.
it. She said, I definitely wanted you comfortable, but I'm concerned about why you all are here. This great night that you're all facing, I think everybody is sort of downplaying it. The poor magistrate I don't believe has been told everything.
Oh no.
And all the elders and things like that have really tried to downplay everything going on, even from the magistrate, because they're afraid that if she gets involved, that there could be a panic. It is affecting the townsfolk.
They seem to be exhausted by, I'm sure, the stress.
Well, they are overworking right now to try to make up for the fields that are tended. They've also discovered that the fields that were destroyed by this night will not take seed. It's like they are vexed to where nothing can seem to grow.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some foul magic afoot that we'll need to investigate in the morning. Have you seen any of these fields yourself, or just heard reports from others?
So I went out to look myself because I brew my own drink, which
of course
I hope that you like. I go out and work it and collect it and then come make it. So a few of my fields have also been stricken by this, and I've seen the results. My field happened several weeks ago, and I've not been able to have anything grow at this location. Me having more time than the others, because I'm busier at night. I only work a few hours during the day, and then I work up till sun up, and then just work a couple hours during the day. I went and investigated some of these places, and while they think there's not a pattern, I think that these places cut are for a reason. So, and I brought this up to some of our elders, and they just told me that I was just grasping at straws, and that I was hoping that the magistrate would bring people, and I was on her side, and that I'm just doing it for my gain, which I am not. So, and she hands you a sheet of paper, and she said, I have marked up until yesterday's the places that have been hit with this famine.
What kind of pattern have you noticed? Certain crops, or is it trying to carve some kind of symbol?
I don't know, but I think that most of these places, some things are a lot of crops, some things aren't. There's not the same type of crop. It's just randomly across this one ring, and it's in our growth ring, and that's why I'm handing it to you. Maybe you and your companions are wise enough to figure something out with this.
We certainly appreciate any lead. My compatriot Eldred is a follower of Pelor, of the summer and sun, and I'm sure we'll be able to shed light on this matter and sort it out as quickly as possible.
She looks at you and she says, how does the sun feel on one with such gray skin as yours? Do you like the warmth of the sun, or maybe the warmth of other things?
The sun is sufficient, especially given the current troubles. But
she's like, I hope my food is warm enough for you, and if you would like anything else, it's like, please don't hesitate to call. There are seconds and thirds where that comes from, as she leaves the place, leaving you with a scroll and a plate of food.
Cool. What's her name?
She didn't give it.
Very forward. All right. Well, I'll certainly review the scroll. And
so, are you intelligent enough to look at it? You got some wisdom there, I know.
So, Eldred's a bit of a box of rocks, interestingly, but then so is Broken Sword. So, depends on what I need to make out of this, whether I'm looking for a pattern, like is this more of an investigation check, or...
I would say it's probably investigation.
Yeah.
It's just sort of trying to look. It will be difficult because you don't know the island as much, but there are marks, like with the rings, and you can see the certain marks.
All right. Well, yeah. Given what I've seen of the land already coming across it, let's see what happens. 12.
It sort of looks like they're. Like there's circles, and it looks like someone just sort of scratched on.
Really? Okay. No
Yeah, it's
discernible
just-
pattern that I recognize.
No, not there's no religious overtones
No.
or things like that, because that's what it would come out with you. You'd probably associate it with things like that.
Yeah. Perhaps I could have Eldred check it out in the morning once it's a decent hour, because it seems like it's pre-dawn or something.
Yeah, it's early. You probably have another hour or so. You probably have another hour or so that you could be sleeping.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if I can't make any discernible pattern of it at this time, I'll just be sure and keep it handy for later, and kind of try to catch another hour of sleep before we're greeted by the elder.
Get a nice short rest.
Yeah.
So okay. So with that, we fade back out, and we'll pick up when so Valanth meets up with you all.